So, I believe I mentioned about 2 videos ago that I started running out of video ideas. I listed off a few basic videos that I was debating making, and I said that the video that I would make after would be about the buildings. Now, I have in fact made that video about the buildings, but now I really feel like I'm out of video ideas. Well, that's not true. I have lots of ideas for videos, I just can't make them all into videos. See, when I work on my game, it's usually not a big task like the buildings that I'm working on. However, over the course of a month, I usually end up finishing some sort of big task that I can turn into a video. The problem is that right now, for the past month, all I've been working on are a ton of boring things, or things I've already made videos on, or just small tasks not important enough to make videos on. So, I'm going to try out a new video format, where instead of going from reasoning and background and methodology of one big task, I'm just going to show all the stuff I've been working on for the past month, and I'm going to just compile it into one video and explain each topic a little. I might still make videos like the old ones, and I might make more like this one, but tell me in the comments which one you like better, and I can see what I'll do. The first big thing I added was one of the 2 buildings that I wasn't able to get done before last video. This is the fire station. Now, this is one of the few buildings in-game that won't have any direct ties with the main story or progression of the game. I like adding these buildings because if all the buildings were absolutely necessary to visit, it would make the town feel less alive because everything had been perfectly tailored for the game. With these extra side places, I feel like now the town feels more alive, and it gives the player more choice as to what they'll do and who they'll interact with. Some cool things I've done for this building is using layers in Godot to my advantage. I have a transparent area right here in front that lines up with the fire truck inside. This means that there wouldn't be an awkward bit where the fire truck is seen going up as you enter, but is also seen on the ground at the same time. Another thing that I've tried doing for this building is making windows that you can see through from inside the building. I originally got this working in the inn, and I decided to see if it would work for this building, and I think it works great. In terms of the next building that I have to make, I'm not sure exactly what it'll be, but I hope it'll be done by the next video. Another one of the main things that I fixed was the camera system. So, one of the many problems I've had with the cameras is that when you go up to a tall building, because of the drag on the camera, you aren't able to see the whole building. This has been something that's been bugging me since I put the hospital in, so I really wanted to make sure to fix it. Another problem that I had was the pause menu. What originally happened was that, again, because of the drag, the pause menu wouldn't appear at the center of the screen, but at the off-center player position. To solve that originally, I used a built-in align command to make sure that the camera is centered first. This, however, didn't work because if you open the pause menu while falling, the camera just couldn't keep up, and the menu would spawn when the player is off screen and you would be soft-locked. The solution I found to fix all of these problems in one fell swoop is my new camera system. Here's how it works. The player has their own camera with the built-in drag and special settings. Each building also has their own camera that frames the building perfectly. So far, only the firehouse has had to have the camera zoom out because of its size. When the player walks into a certain collision box, usually the main part of the building, the main camera switches to that building's camera. It then switches back when you leave that area. This made it really easy to make the buildings look perfect and keep them in frame the whole time, and I can also use it for some characters. Now, here comes the best part. The player also has a secret second camera that I've called the pause camera. That camera is always locked on to the exact player position. When the pause button is pressed, the camera instantly switches to the pause camera and displays the pause menu. I also have a variable that saves whatever the camera was before the pause. Then, when the player resumes, the game instantly switches back to that camera. This fixes all of my problems with my past camera system, but it also allows for some flexibility. There's only one problem right now, and it isn't insanely important. The switch from camera to camera can be a bit jerky because it instantly switches, and so far I haven't been able to find a solution. It isn't terrible, but it's not great. tell me in the comments if you know of a solution to this problem, because I'd love to hear it. The last thing I'd like to mention in this video is the dialogue. Now, I'm not going to show all the dialogue that I've been working on, mostly just because it would contain some spoilers for the game, but I want to show some examples. Now, so far, a lot of the first dialogue you have with the NPCs is just the introduction. So, because he's a great example for anything ever, let's use Trevor. His dialogue originally just had this introduction bit, where he tells you who he is and about his bar. But because that only happens the first time you meet him, there'd have to be dialogue for every other time you meet him. I originally hadn't done that yet, because I was working on other things, and because Trevor's first dialogue was mostly just to test if the dialogue system worked. Now that I've started adding an extra dialogue, you can talk to him again, and when I've added more characters, you can talk to him about them, or if there's a story event that happens in his bar, you can talk to him about that once it's happened. I've also been adding in some dialogue for some of the less important characters, or adding in dialogue that can just be repeated once the introduction is done. For example, these robots here don't have any changing dialogue, so no matter where you are in the story, the dialogue stays the same. That's all for today's video. I hope next time I can do a video about making all the characters, or most of them, but that's definitely going to be my next goal, as once I've done that, I'd be pretty close to finishing the game. I hope you enjoyed the new video format, and comment if you like this type or the old type more. Anyway, please like and subscribe because it does help out, but thanks for watching, and have a great day.